This is what we're looking at. We're looking at a melted fuse box on the alternator fuse, which is a really common issue on these cars. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace this whole fuse box. This might be a little boring, but stop right now before you double click that video to skip 15 seconds ahead, because if you wanna actually fix your car for real, you're gonna need to listen to this slightly boring part. So this is why the fuse boxes actually melt in the first place. Corrosion and resistance. So what'll happen is, from factory, they crimped the wires with crimp connectors instead of actually soldering them to the connectors. So in between the crimp connectors and the wires, it will corrode. It can also corrode between the connector and the fuse, but it's most likely between the wire and the crimp connector. So it'll corrode, it'll cause high resistance, which then causes heat, which then melts your fuse box. So to truthfully fix the whole thing and cause this to never happen again, you know, if you're on like your second, third fuse box and it just keeps melting, you need to replace the alternator wire and the crimp connector along with the fuse box. I didn't do that because I'm just going to send it, and if it melts again, then I'll replace the wire. But I just wanted to, you know, get by for a while. So I just went ahead and threw a new fuse box in there. We'll see how long it lasts. I'm sure it won't last that long. But in order to truly fix it, you need to replace the wire. You need to replace the crimp connector, which if you buy it from Volkswagen, I'm sure it comes all assembled. If you make it yourself, I would suggest soldering it instead of just crimping it on. But yeah, just little side note, that'll help you guys actually fix it for real. That's the real way to fix it. Let's continue on with the rest of the video. Let's get straight into it. I've also got this that needs to be replaced. It's one of the battery hold down terminal things. Here's the fuse box. It's an Amazon fuse box, so I'm not actually going to use the fuses inside because they probably don't work. So I'm going to just go ahead and switch the box itself, but keep all these original fuses. Let's get straight into it. The only things that you're going to actually need, I think, is just a 10mm socket and maybe a pair of vice grips if your hood doesn't keep itself open. Literally all you have to do is just loosen all these wires, remember where they go, and yeah, take that connector off. You've got to take the battery part of it off right there. As you can see, I have no terminal hold down. I just have a thing jammed in there to keep the terminal on. So let's do it. Take all these 10mm off. I already took it off the terminal, took the terminal off the battery. I want to get this actually out of here, but I don't think it really comes off. I think it's all molded into one piece. So I'm just going to go ahead and take all of these off. That one's difficult because it's melted.
Moments later.
All right, for this, I'm taking all of these cheap Chinese fuses out because they'll probably end up taking like triple the amperage that they're rated for. I'm going to put the original ones back in, but these definitely need to be cleaned off, especially the one that has plastic melted on it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my wire brush and just scrub these off until they're nice and clean, and then put them in this fuse box. All right, we got the new fuse box in here. So all that I did is I took the fuses out of the old one and I wire brushed them off real nice, not in the middle, but on the ends where they actually connect. And then I just put them in there, assembled it, tightened it all up. Just, you know, did that, even these fuses I put from the old one into this new one because I do not trust cheap Chinese fuses after I lit my car on fire from those. So I definitely suggest not to use cheap Chinese fuses ever because they suck. They'll probably burn your car down. But now we need to stick this in there on the battery terminal. That's really easy. That just goes in from the bottom, sticks up. You put it's just self-explanatory. We're gonna do that, and then we're gonna start it up and make sure that we've got the alternator working. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and see if that worked. It was only getting about like battery voltage before. So now that we've replaced that fuse, let's see what the multimeter reads. Come over here. There we go, 14 volts, so that fix worked. Now we've actually got full voltage from the alternator. Doesn't feel like it's getting hot, so I think we should be good to go. Thanks for watching. Remember to replace the actual wire if you want to fix this long term, or if you just want to send it like me, that's fine too, but do this at your own risk. Remember, you can get electrocuted or cause fires by working around a battery. We'll see you guys on the next video. Stay tuned for more lifted Beetle videos because there's more coming.